The materials you're going to need for making your fish, you need some kind of cereal box kind of cardboard, or also these envelopes that are like thick card. So coloured thick card would also work. I've got some bits of coloured paper here. You could use this or maybe paint, and I'll show you. That's just to cover this kind of packaging, and you get writing on the back. Not very nice, and so you can give your fish some pattern. So for tools you'll need a ruler or something else with a straight edge, so you could use the edge of a book or the edge of a box, something like that. Some scissors, pencil, stapler, some PVA glue would be useful, a couple of pegs might come in handy, and I've got a loo roll tube and lids from bottles that are from the recycling. To start with, if you flatten your cereal box and then find the largest area you can, and we're going to be needing to draw a square. So you can actually see I've already got the lines on. It's quite handy to use these edges that are already on the cereal box. So if you push it up and go like this, you can draw a straight line, and then if you do it on this side, that way you'll get a right angled corner, which will help you get your square properly square and not slightly off to the side. I'd suggest making it as big as you can. The smaller it is, the more fiddly it is to fold. If you'd like to make a smaller fish, then maybe make it out of thick kind of paper card rather than cereal box. But you can see here, I've measured across and I've done 24 centimeters from this line that I've drawn down the edge. 24 centimeters across. Match that up, and then I've measured from here to here. It's 24 centimeters here to here, and then joined it up with a line, and then use your scissors and carefully cut out along all your lines. Once you've cut it out, you'll get a square. The patterned paper that I showed you before, this stuff, and what I've done is I've PVA glued it onto the back. Don't worry too much about bits of writing like that, because the pattern will be on the inside of the fish, but it's just a bit nicer than all of the writing on the cereal box. To make your fish, we're going to have to make some scores on this square. We'll be drawing a line and making a score from this corner to this corner diagonally. Now, if you've only got a 30cm ruler like me, and you've made your square this big, you'll see it doesn't match up, and you'd like that line to be completely straight. So, like I said at the beginning, if you can use other objects apart from a ruler, if you've got something with a long straight side. So I've got this piece of cardboard that's got a straight edge, which is a bit longer than my ruler, and will help me do this very carefully, so you can see where that line is. Now, in order to score, it's a bit hard folding cardboard, so you can see with this scrap, if you fold it rough edge, you want it to fold better than that. So closed pairs of scissors, hold it like this, be careful, and then you run it down along that line. So you probably can't see very well, but that the cardboard will fold. So, and you want to push that down nice and firm like that. Okay, so that's the first one, and then we want another one. So what we want to do is fold this corner so that this line matches up with this middle line that we've had. So we're going to be going over like this. Now, it's quite hard to work out where, so the easiest way of doing it is if you just concentrate on this corner, push down there and open it up. Now you can see where that line is. Use a pencil to do a little mark. And then go from that little mark, and same thing with your scissors. Like this. And you want to do this side. So you can see, can you see those lines? And you want to fold these ones this way. So, and you do it, oh sorry. So these two bits here will be attached together, so that's the shape you're getting. But before we're going to attach this, we need to cut some lines in so that we get the movement of the fish. So you can just get your scissors. Now it might be a bit tough because it's through 2 layers of card. And you don't want the first one to be too close to the end. So maybe go about this far in. Do part. So you can measure these out with a ruler, but they don't all have to be very even. So you want to go like this, and then we try again. Now you can see here where I've not gotten all the way down to the line. You need to make sure they all reach down to the line, otherwise when you try and wiggle them, and you can see where I've put the coloured paper on the inside, you get this nice pattern. So if you don't have any paper to stick on, I stuck this on with PVA and water to stick the paper to it. But if you've got paint, you could also paint the inside of this. But just make sure you let it dry, whether you've glued something on it or whether you've painted it before you start making it, giving it plenty of time. So now we've got this movement. Oh, you can see here how this one's not bending, so I mustn't have gotten all the way down. There we go. Okay, you've got your 2 sides folded over. Now you could use some glue here and hold it. You need to make sure you wait for it to dry. Or if you've got a stapler, just put a couple of staples on here to hold it. So now you've got like this. So that's the main body of your fish. Next up, we're going to add a jaw on the bottom here. So put your fish here, and we need to create a jaw. I'm going to use leftover bit from when we cut out the square. This has got the same spotty on the back. And what we'll start by doing is cutting out a rectangle. So we kind of want a long strip. Okay, and then this will curve, so we just curve it round. And that's going to be going on here, like this. So as you can see, it's a little bit big, a bit long at the bottom here. If you cut it out, so the best thing to do is half it first. Draw a shape which goes along and down. So you can see like this. A bit like this. Now, we'll on here. Now the best way of attaching it, we'll use staples or glue, but if you hold it shut again and we cut a little line like this, about maybe 2 centimeters in, so we get back the body. You can see what I'm doing is I'm slotting that on there. On the same side. So you can see there you've given it a mouth, but you've also given it a little fin using the same bit of cardboard. So they'll hold on quite a lot with this, but it's best if you use your stapler again and just put a staple there. If you don't have a stapler, remember you can put some glue as well. So there we go, that's got that on there. So next up we need a tail and some eyes. So if you get another scrap piece of cardboard, a bit of cereal box left over from when you cut out your square, if you hold the fish on like so that you can kind of get the scale of your tail right, use a pencil. And the tail can be lots of different shapes. I am going to go with one like this. I've done it very roughly, but you can also like with a ruler afterwards, if you like. To cut out. So then you use your scissors and you cut it out, and what you want is you want to cut 2 of these out so that you can stick them with some PVA glue back to back. You cut it out, if you turn it over so the coloured side's out, put it back down, chaw around it and cut it out again. So once you've got your 2, if you cover one of these sides in PVA together so that the coloured side is hidden, you've got the fishtail glued together like this. We need to attach it onto the end. So we get your scissors and you get this end here and you want to cut a little slit. Down like that, similar to how we did it to attach the jaw. And then when you get the end of the tail, you've got this flat side and then the 2 edges. So this is a little bit fiddly, but if you get your scissors and you want to see how that end's a bit open, you want to just a bit up here. Now this bit will be a bit fiddly, so you can see you've done that slot. One of the things you can do is make it a little bit wider. Just taking that, plot it on here. So that, this bit here will be going inside of the model. And around. Now you can put a little bit of PVA glue under there to hold it, but what I'd suggest is use a stapler again. So you want the staple to go across this to attach the tail, so it might be a bit fiddly. Give it a good push all the way down so you can see the staple, and that's nice and firm. So now you've got your tail and your fish, so it's just some eyes to add. Just use lids off the recycling, glue on something like this as an eye. But if you don't have lids, and sometimes these can be a bit hard to glue on, they're a lot better glued on with hot glue gun. Or if you're using PVA, what you want to do is glue it on and hold it until it's dry, which can take a little bit of time, but if you've got the patience, then you can do that. But another way is using a toilet roll tube. So if you get a toilet roll tube, you're going to need to be cutting these into a smaller section. Easiest way is just to squish it. So if you squish the cardboard tube down like this, we can squish it back into a circle afterwards. You'll be cutting through and it might be a little bit tough. You want to about the same size. So if you make, with the toilet roll I've done it in about thirds. but it'll just depend on how big an eye you've got. So what you want to do is attach this on as an eye. Now the way you can do that is if you keep it flat, what we're going to do is you'll be doing that on this one as well. Now when we push it back out like this, these little pieces are what we're going to use to glue the eyes on, so you need to fold them. This. So the best way for this is definitely to use glue. Yeah, glue. I'm just going to try and use what's in the lid here. I've got a little scrap of cardboard to get the glue on. So you want to put this piece and this piece here. Where you want your eye. And you'll need to hold these down. And you can either hold them and wait for it to dry, or if you feel like it's taking a bit too long, these are what you could use the pegs for, so you can push a little bit of pressure on it and then you can leave it to dry. So you just need to do the same thing with this one and attach it onto the other side. So if you'd like, you can then use a lid to make the eye got a different colour, or you could use a bit of scrap card or leftover bits from earlier to cut out a circle and make the eyeball. It's up to you. Once you've got your fish done, you can decorate it. So you can see I've used some little scrap bits that I've got left over to add some stripes to the fish. But you could also maybe use some little triangles and give your fish teeth more like a shark. Or I'm sure you could add some little strips like this, give your fish some eyelashes. I'm not sure fish have eyelashes, but your fish could. So there's all sorts of different stuff that you could do to make your fish its own personality.